Her name is Linette Manuel, and she's going to be talking all things tech, fashion, and actually, she's going to be doing a full-blown fashion show for us as well. So I think we do need the stage pretty flat for that, is that right? So we'll have the stage go back, but guys, this is a treat. She's also an educator and a CEO, so she does it all, basically. She's an absolute legend. And her group literally got here before me this morning to rehearse. So you know they're going to be on the ball. Yay! But yeah, I'll hand it over to you, Linette. How is it for you? Is this like kind of how you pictured fashion in the future when you were first studying?
Definitely not.
Really?
Like, I always had a dream that I wanted to do fashion, but I was very scared to pursue it. So I jumped from fashion to tech because my parents was like, Linette, I don't think that fashion is something that is quite, I would say, lucrative for your future. So I jumped to study science and tech. And now I merge it together, which is absolutely amazing. So for me, it's a dream coming true.
I love that. And like, sometimes it's like you don't even need to pick one. Like everyone's been saying all day, you do what you like, and you've managed to integrate these two things together, which is absolutely amazing. And yeah, the floor is yours.
Exactly. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Hi, everyone. Good afternoon. My name is Linette, as Tilly already mentioned, and I am a tech enthusiast, entrepreneur, but mostly I'm a proud educator. Now, I would like to start with thanking you. I have spoken to some of you downstairs in my booth, and I have to say, my life mission is to bridge the gap between technology and humanity. And I get quite happy and excited every time I see brand new faces, young generations being excited about technology. And as I was standing downstairs, I got so many wonderful questions. So thank you so much for being able to make me feel fulfilled today. Well, as a good educator, I have to make few promises to you. A good educator always integrates not only theory, but also some stories, practical examples, and we must follow show, don't tell rule. So I'll make sure that everything will be there during my talk. Before I take you on a journey, please, I have a favor to ask you. Don't worry, it will be two small favors. One of them is that during this talk, I will be asking you to make an amazing experience for our models for the fashion show. For that, I would like you to be ready to prepare your hands. So we will be doing a loud approach, a loud applause, and a lot of noise. So please be ready for that. And also, I will be asking you questions. Now, it will be very simple questions to which you can just raise your hand. But I want to ask you to don't be scared. I know how intimidating you can feel when you are supposed to get out of the crowd. So please, if the question resonates with you, don't be scared and raise your hand. Can we do that? Perfect, thank you. Let's try that. Let's do a small warm-up. You've heard so many wonderful speeches today, so many wonderful inspirational talks. Who here feels that is super excited about the future, the upcoming technologies that we will have? Who feels excited about the space, AI, technologies? I feel super excited. Wonderful, so many hands. Perfect. Who here, on the other hand, feels that it might be exciting, but also a little intimidating, a little overwhelming, maybe too many changes, maybe scary? Yeah, that's the same amount of hands. I'm asking you this question because I feel the same. I actually am quite excited about what's coming with the technologies, but also at the same time, it might feel that it's a little bit fast, all of the changes. I would definitely define this era as an era of uncertainty. Now, in this era, well, we have so much access to all of the informations, and not only informations, even different people. We are so connected. You sitting here, you are able to pop up your phones and send a message to a researcher on Antarctica asking a question you are actually excited about. That's beautiful, but also, where does that leave us with education? What's the role of the education in this era? Well, some of us might be asking the questions like, well, does it make sense to go to school anymore if we have the information accessible like this? Do I have to learn anything if I can ask an AI to memorize anything? If I can ask an AI to answer my questions, so do I have to memorize anything? Or is technology going to completely destroy education as we know it? Well, I'm here to tell you that I don't think so. I think that technology and how fast it's evolving is doing us a big favor. And if we grab it by the correct hand, then we can actually take advantage of this amazing opportunity to bring back the principles that are now maybe being a little bit hidden and sometimes lost. Alvin has talked about it a little bit when you ask the question, what is the thing that the future should be focused on and be learning? Well, I would like to tell you the 3 principles that I think that will rise up as are the technologies rising up. The first principle that I would like to mention to you is the one that I realized when I was talking to my friend. She was studying law. We were sitting in the room, and she was doing and learning for her final exam. Well, she had a very sad face, so I asked her, what is going on? Why are you sad? Do you feel that you're not ready? And she answered to me, well, no, I'm not sad. I feel very ready. Then I asked her, what's the problem then? And she said, I feel like I finally found out the recipe how to learn. I finally mastered my learning, but this is my last chance to actually test it. Now, her words hit me, and even though I do believe that learning never ends with school, what I realized that every time when I was studying, I was so much focused on biology and math and all of the subjects and how important it is to get the best grades and memorize everything, to be then very annoyed that I remember all of these things that feel so useless. But I was missing the main point. All of the exercises, tests, exams, all of the testing was there to make me actually learn how to learn. You can get as many information, you will learn many things, but you can never realize and you can never rely on making sure that the information is useful for you in 10, 5 years, and especially now when everything is super changing. But one basis that can stay with you is knowing how to learn. Now, of course, it sounds easier than it is, and you need a little bit of space to be able to do so. And schools are an amazing space to facilitate our learning experience. Now, as we are talking about schools, we cannot forget to mention teachers and the role that the teachers will hold in our future when we have these technologies that can feed us any information in instant. Now, as we speak about teachers, some of us, when we think about teachers, we see teachers as those people who carry the information, the walking books of information. But those who are teachers and who know teachers very closely know that teachers are much more than just that. Raise your hands, those of you who have a teacher in their life who changed their life. with something that they've done. Teacher or coach, yeah, most of us. Perfect. Don't forget to say thank you to your teachers. There is not enough thank you for that. If you think about the experience and how your teachers changed your life, I think that we will all agree that it has very little to do with the subject they were teaching. Is that? Yeah, thank you. Well, that's the main point. Teachers are much more than that. I remember how frustrated I was when we were learning with teachers who knew just a little bit more than we did in our classes. Now, in our context, it was the teachers who used to teach Russian, and now they switched to teaching English. And I was very, very frustrated at that time, but the frustration didn't come from the part of the teachers not knowing a little bit more than us. The frustration came from my experience, from the mindset that I had that was set to me, thinking that the teachers are there actually to make me smart, that it's their responsibility for me to be educated. That is not my responsibility, and that's not the case. Now, I think and I believe that if you think about it, it made perfect sense. Those teachers were trying just to adapt to the situation, because the school system is here and is actually promising us to make us ready for the future. And now that we have all of the technologies evolving, we don't have time to make all of the teachers super, super skilled. And we could do that, of course, but then we will struggle a little bit with the generations that didn't have time to learn the skills of the future. The third part that I would like to mention that I think is very important is that we will be learning through play and using tools. Now, I'm very passionate about integrating technologies into a curriculum through a specific creative curriculum, including fashion tech. I get a lot of questions from teachers asking me, well, Linette, if you have students who are learning only modern technologies, doesn't that mean that they will learn only a bit of what the traditional tools are bringing to us? Will that destroy the notion of what the tradition can bring to us? And I always say, well, it depends on how we view the machines and the tools. If we think about a needle, which is also a tool, the needle is not the one that is creating the garment. The needle itself doesn't produce the story. It's the creator and the relationship of the perceiver on the other side that creates and builds the story. So it's completely up to us. In the past, it was a needle. Now it's a sewing machine. And in the future, it can be a 3D printer. Now, I promise you that I will show you more than tell. So I have prepared for you a few beautiful examples of works that the students have created with our program on 3D printed fashion. Now, this is the part where I want to ask you the favor. And then if you could just help me welcome the models on the stage with a big applause. Perfect. Now, let's have a look at the beautiful project that our students have created. The first project that I will show you is the project of Hanka Valatova that Dari is wearing. The corset was completely 3D printed, and she created this corset. Actually, she took her 5 days to produce this beautiful piece. And it's absolutely fully 3D printed with flexible filaments and hand-stitched together to hold. Give it up for Darcha. The second piece that I would like to show you is this dress that was designed by Natalia Červeňáková. She wanted to use not only traditional 3D printers, but also combine hand 3D printing, which is made with the 3D pen. So she was trying to recreate a female silhouette, so it has very straight, simple lines. Give it up for Kristinka. Now, the third that I would like to show you is Tina wearing, and that's the costume designed by Emma Zelinska. Emma wanted to show a beautiful combination of traditional rigid filaments and flexible filaments with combination with textile. To produce this piece, it took her about 4 days. Now, the last piece that I want to show you is the piece that I have created. And this piece is a beautiful print that has a rigid filament printed on top of textile. And it took me about 2 days to produce the piece. The piece has dual color filament, so that's why it looks like it's a little bit shiny. And it is combined and stitched together with a sewing machine. Those were a beautiful 4 projects that have been designed by students or me. And now let's just have one more big proper look at all of them. Let's give it up for the girls. I would like to also ask you to give a big applause to Confi Chicas, Confi dancers, beautiful models who decided to join us today to share the beautiful work. Thank you, girls. Now, as we wait to the round to stop turning, I have just one last message for all of you. I remember how overwhelmed I was when I was deciding what I will actually study at the end. Some of you might be at the same situation, and I know that it feels very uncertain. But I would like to tell you that when I was deciding what I would like to do, everyone was asking me, Linette, what do you want to do? What do you want to see in the future? And I said, I don't know. I actually like a little bit of fashion. I like playing computer games. I like technology. But never in a million years I would actually tell you I would be studying fashion tech and then how to implement it in schools. I didn't know. I didn't know what fashion tech was back then. So what I'm trying to tell you is, and that's, if you take out of this talk only that, is that the only thing that you need to do is learn how to learn and find your passion. And I promise you, if you do these 2 things, then you'll be completely fine. Thank you.